They say a mother's love can move mountains, but sometimes a son's love can melt even the hardest of hearts. What would you do if the only person who ever loved you was dying before your eyes, and the only way to save her was to sell the only thing you had left? Yourself? Stay with me till the end of this story, because what this boy did for his mother will make your heart tremble. But before we begin, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, Slow and Steady Win the Race, because stories like this one remind us that love is not measured by money, but by sacrifice. The story begins in a small, dusty village where poverty ruled every corner like an uninvited guest. There lived a 16-year-old boy named Ravi, whose eyes carried dreams bigger than the sky, but whose hands were too weak to reach them. He lived with his mother, Mira, a kind woman whose laughter once filled their tiny home, but now her breath came in painful gasps. The doctor had said she was suffering from a disease that needed immediate treatment and costly medicine from the city. Without it, she wouldn't live long. Those words shattered Ravi's world. He didn't have a single rupee left. Their savings were gone, their crops had failed, and their only cow had died the previous month. As he watched his mother coughing blood into a torn piece of cloth, something inside him broke. That night, under the dim light of a kerosene lamp, he whispered to her, "Ma, don't worry. I'll bring your medicine. I promise." She smiled weakly, brushing his hair. "Son, don't do anything foolish. Some things are written by fate." But Ravi didn't believe in fate. He believed in love. He left home the next morning, the first rays of sunlight falling on his determined face. He went door to door, begging for work, cleaning stalls, carrying sacks, shining shoes, anything that could earn a few rupees. But no one was willing to help a poor village boy. "Go home, kid," they said. "The world doesn't stop for tears." By sunset, his feet were blistered, and his stomach screamed with hunger, but his heart refused to give up. As he sat near the roadside, thinking of his mother's fading smile, he overheard two men talking behind him. "The traders in the city are paying big money for young workers," one said. "Some even sell themselves for months. Hard work. Good pay." Ravi's head lifted. He didn't care what kind of work it was. All he wanted was his mother's life back. That night, while the village slept, he quietly took his old bicycle and began pedaling toward the city. The road was long and rough, but every drop of sweat felt like a prayer. After hours of travel, when the city lights appeared like stars on earth, Ravi whispered, "Hold on, Ma. I'm almost there." The next day, he found the so-called traders near the docks, men with gold watches and cruel smiles. One of them looked at him and laughed. "You're just a boy," Ravi bowed. "I'll do anything, sir. My mother's sick. I need money for her medicine." The man smirked and said, "How much do you need?" Ravi hesitated. 2,000 rupees, the man chuckled. "For that, you'll have to give me something valuable." "I have nothing but my work," Ravi replied. The man's grin widened. "Then sell me your work and your time. You'll work for me for 6 months. No questions, no running away. I'll pay you now." Ravi didn't understand the danger behind those words. He just saw hope. He nodded. "Deal." The man pulled out a bundle of notes and threw it at him. "Take it. And don't forget, you belong to me now." Ravi didn't care what that meant. He clutched the money tightly and ran straight to the nearest pharmacy. He bought his mother's medicine, wrapped it carefully, and sent it back to his village through a bus driver, begging him, "Please, uncle, give this to my mother. Mira, tell her Ravi kept his promise." The driver, moved by the boy's tears, agreed. Then, Ravi turned back toward the docks to fulfill his promise. That's when reality struck. He saw cages, men with chains, children crying silently. He realized too late what he had done. These were not traders, they were traffickers. His heart stopped. He tried to run, but rough hands grabbed him. "Where do you think you're going, boy?" One of them snarled. "You sold yourself. Now work." Ravi struggled, shouting, "Please, my mother needs me!" But his voice was drowned in the sound of chains and engines. The truck door slammed, locking him in with dozens of others. As it drove away, Ravi pressed his face to the cold metal, clutching the memory of his mother's smile. "You'll live, Ma," he whispered. "Even if I don't." Days turned into weeks. The boys were forced to work like slaves at a construction site, hungry, beaten, and forgotten. Yet every night Ravi prayed. "Just let her be okay," he begged the stars. "That's all I want." Meanwhile, in the small village far away, Mira lay in bed, her body weak but her heart filled with hope. A bus driver had come that morning delivering a small parcel. Inside was the medicine, and a note written in trembling handwriting. "Ma, I sold my time so you can live. Don't wait for me. Just promise you'll take care of yourself. Love, Ravi." Tears streamed down her face as she clutched the note to her chest. She whispered his name again and again, her heart breaking between gratitude and grief. Days passed, her health slowly improving, but Ravi never returned. Months later, one night, the police raided the trafficking site. Among the rescued workers was a frail boy lying unconscious, holding a torn piece of cloth in his hand. It was the same cloth his mother had once used to wipe her blood, the one he had kept close all this time. When he awoke in a hospital bed, the first word that left his lips was "Ma." The officers traced his home and took him back to the village. When he stepped off the jeep, weak and trembling, his mother was standing at the door, her eyes overflowing with tears. For a moment, time froze. Then she ran to him, hugged him tightly, and whispered, "You kept your promise, my son." Ravi smiled faintly and said, "Slow and steady wins the race, Ma." The villagers gathered around, watching the most beautiful reunion they had ever seen. It wasn't wealth that saved Mira. It was love, the kind that only a child's heart can give. And though Ravi had lost his freedom, his spirit had won. Because in the end, true love doesn't need miracles. It needs courage. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Slow and Steady Win the Race. Because sometimes, it's not the rich who teach us the meaning of love. It's the poor who give everything they have for the ones they love most.